Right, so the first thing that we're going to make is going to be zucchini bread. Michelle has a great zucchini bread recipe that I want to try, and I put chocolate in it. So we're going to take a couple zucchinis from the garden, and we'll bring them in, and we will cook them up for you. So I'll meet you inside with the zucchini. I'm going to get two. So we brought the zucchinis in. I washed them, and I sliced them up. First I cut it in half, and then I cut them into these spears. And now we're going to shred them. We need 1.5 cups for each cake. We're going to do a double zucchini bread, so we're going to do the double recipe. I need 3 cups of shredded. We'll get 3 cups. We'll measure it out. Well, the first step to making the zucchini bread is to combine the dry ingredients and set them aside. So we have some flour, we have some cocoa powder, we have some baking soda, and we have some salt. And we're just going to combine those all. And we want to kind of stir them together. And then once we get these combined, we're going to set it aside, and then we're going to start working with the wet ingredients. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to combine the wet ingredients. We're going to cream some brown sugar, some butter that I had melted and allowed to cool down, some oil, some vanilla, and some eggs. But first I'm going to crack these eggs one at a time so I make sure I don't get any shells in there, and then we'll put them together. And so we got the last egg. And we're going to put the butter in. And the canola oil. And we'll mix it up. I'm going to put the vanilla in. And we'll let that go a little bit more, and then we're going to put the dry ingredients in with it. Now I need to put the dry ingredients in with the wet, but if I put that in when that thing's spinning, it's going to be flying all over the place. So what I like to do is I like to put in about 1/4 of it and then lift it up and just kind of stir it in a little bit. And that helps. And then when we put the beaters on, it'll actually finish it off. Because this cocoa powder could be crazy all over. Okay, so we've got it mixed in pretty good by hand. Now it should be pretty good to not fly out. It's incorporated really well. Now I'm going to just get it off the edge of the bowl. You don't want to overbeat this. Just want to make sure that everything's incorporated. And that feels pretty good, so I'm not even going to mix it anymore. Now it's time for the zucchini to be added. So we'll put about half of it in. Mix it up. It'll start to loosen the chocolate mixture up a little bit because there's a little moisture still in the zucchini. It did drip when we had it sitting out, but there's still a lot of moisture in there, and you'll see how it gets pretty nice here in a minute. All right, it looks good. Now we're going to put 3/4 of the chocolate morsels in there, and then the other quarter is going to go on top once we pan it out. So we got about 3/4 of a cup. And we'll mix that in, and this batter is ready to go into the pans. All right, we're going to put the batter into the baking dishes. We want to put about half into each one. Just kind of watch it, get a feel for it. Even them out. And once we get those evened out, we're going to put some chocolate chips on top, and then they're going to go in the oven. All right, all we're going to do now is put the other 1/4 of the chocolate chips on the top and into the oven. 350 degrees. Those are greased baking dishes. And we'll take a look in an hour and see what it looks like. So the zucchini bread's been cooking for an hour, so now we want to go ahead and test it. So we'll grab one of these, and we'll put a toothpick in it. you got to make sure that you don't go into a chocolate chip or else you'll get a false reading. And they're done. So we baked it for about an hour. It could be a little bit longer depending on what the weather's like, where you live. If you're living out in Vegas where a lot of our friends and family are, it might be a little bit drier there, so it may not take as long to cook, but you need to try it after an hour. So if you could see, it's cooked all the way through. I'll give it a taste. It's really good. It's really good. You guys got to try it. Zucchini.